Hello, everyone. Welcome to another podcast episode of Haystack Nation. We want to thank you all for joining us, and we have a little confession to make. Just about 3 minutes ago, we were all into a conversation here and got this podcast rolling, and I happened to look down at the board and see that the record button was not hit. So we just had a whole conversation for like nothing. Dwayne, that's what you're here for. We're supposed to be monitoring things, you know?
Yeah.
Be looking out for my mistakes. We even had like funny jokes and everything. I mean, it was great.
It's all good. We'll get back on track.
Yeah, we'll get back on track. Let's see. Where did we leave off? We were making such great points. Well, first of all, before we say anything about jokes or have any fun or anything, we have 3 amazing guests with us today. We have 2 actually in-house in studio at Haystack Nation Studios, a.k.a. Dwayne's house. And we have a guest with us that is over the phone. And we have someone who's going to talk to us today about something important that we should all have when it comes to, just dealing with life situations. I think we'll learn a lot today, Dwayne, don't you think?
Absolutely.
We're going to learn some stuff. And we are going to have fun doing it. And we're going to introduce real quick the 2 lovely ladies here in studio with us. We have Evanette Tarin. Say hi, Evanette.
Hello.
You can at least say hi. And we have Vanessa Cias.
Hi.
And we have Jim.
Hola.
Hola. Hola, Jim. Are we going to do this in Spanish? Because that would be amazing.
Simón.
Simón. You know, it's not actually Spanish, right? So we've got the wives in here, right, Dwayne? And I know you were super excited about this. You just could not wait to have Evan and Vanessa join us because you always value their opinions and you think they're just funny and entertaining.
Absolutely. They always bring a great perspective to the table.
You say that like almost sarcastically, but I know you're not being sarcastic. But anyway, so Evanette and Vanessa are here, but they're very shy. They hardly said anything. I mean, they barely said hi. They really put their mouth on the microphone and said anything. So this is going to be a problem, Dwayne. We can't have guests on our show that don't talk.
Absolutely. So,
and they're very intimidated by this board that we have here in front of us. This, this production board.
Yeah. I think they said they were intimidated because they didn't like the way they sound. But I don't even like the way I sound, but
you sound great.
It's all good.
You sound good. And I think when you talk, it's magic. Magic happens when you talk, Dwayne. Thank you. And so I don't know how we're going to involve them. I want them to feel comfortable with this podcast, but I want them to also say something from time to time. Jim, any ideas how we can involve the ladies?
Maybe promise to cook them something special if they talk.
That will actually keep them very silent. Can we? They'll be like, I'm more than happy to not say anything.
They usually talk more, right, when we're not recording?
Yeah, they do. They're very opinionated. But when we're recording, it's like...
Maybe we need to record more often.
Maybe we do.
Maybe you can pretend that we're not recording.
That's true. Well, that might work, except that there's this big red record button that's on and that they can see visibly. But, I do want to involve them, and I'm going to put them on the spot right now. And they're not going to like this, but you know what? I'm going to do it. All I want, and Dwayne, help me out here. All I want is for them to just, say something interesting about themselves. Oh, they said no. Favorite color? Favorite food? Favorite?
Vanessa, why don't you go first?
I think we should just move to the topic. How about that?
This is going to be difficult. I see how it's going to be.
We're wasting Jim's time.
I know. Jim. Okay, Jim.
I have all the time in the world.
Thank you, Jim. It's very kind.
I have an 8-month-old, so we have all the time in the world, as you guys can remember.
And you just put him down, right?
Well, the wife is putting him down. So I have the time in the world.
Spoken like a true man there.
I will say that is a sad thing to say on a Saturday night.
Oh.
I have all the time in the world.
And actually, guys, tonight we were supposed to. It's our 5-year anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary!
Well, thank you. It's been.
So now they say something.
Yeah, it's been 5 glorious years, and we're blessed. And we were gonna go to a place. Thank you. We were gonna go to this nice resort for a weekend, but we decided to stay home and enjoy each other's company here in our apartment. So yeah, happy 5 years to us.
Yeah, enjoy lockdown life.
That's right.
I'm sorry that you had to, celebrate your 5th anniversary, which is kind of a nice milestone. But in these kind of condition or situation that we're in, right?
But it's all about perspective, Jesse. We have a nice, comfortable place. We're healthy, and we got the little baby here. So
absolutely,
life is still good.
Well, good, man. So we're going to talk a little bit today about perspective. And last time, Jim, we were just talking, you, Dwayne, and I were just kind of having a conversation or whatever, and you were talking about, we were talking about perspective and the importance of having a certain mindset. And so, Dwayne, where do we leave off with that? I mean, why is that something important that we need to consider talking about?
Yeah, well, perspective is important because I think it determines how people interact with those around them, And the conversation we had last week was we were talking about a conversation I was having with our friend Anna Marie about mindset, right? Mm-hmm. Perspective. Mm-hmm. And she was talking about chores, right? And how sometimes we're like, I have to do chores, right? But there's perspective, right? You can also look at it as like when you're having to fold clothes, for example. That's the example she used. And she says, why not say I get to fold clothes, which means that I have multiple, sets of clothing, that's a blessing, right? So when you look at it that way, that chore doesn't become so much of a burden, right? So I think that's why it's important.
Maybe that's what I need to do more of to get my chores done. Have a different mindset about them. Oh, I mean, another way to look at that too is like I get to fold clothes. That means that my hands work. That means that my limbs work. That you take that for granted, right? Because you can do so many things. But say you didn't have the ability to do that. Folding clothes would probably be a thrill, right? If you couldn't do all those things. So perspective does come in handy. I mean, it's something that I think is important to have in life. And if you don't have, everyone has a perspective, whether it's good or bad. You have a perspective, but it's healthier to have a healthy perspective. And Jim, what are your thoughts, man? I mean, when it comes to this topic, especially in these days that we live in with everything going on, what advice or what would you recommend in terms of how we approach things with all the challenges that we have?
That's a hard question.
I aim to go for hard questions, Jim.
I know. Yeah. I think Jesse and Dwayne and the two ladies over there, I think that's the hardest challenge that I think that people have to deal with and learn throughout their entire lives, but I also think that when it comes to perspective, maturity, experiences in life, all contribute, and our perspectives are really changing every single day with each experiences, each year, each challenges, whether we like it or not, the way we view life and the way we view the world, and even the way we view our relationship with other people and even with God changes, and I think the beautiful thing about what God has given us is that he has given us the ability to have the free will to to change the way we see things in life.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing. But there's certainly a lot of teachings out there, a lot of philosophies out there in the world, and even biblical teachings, as we know, fundamentals of how to see things the way God would see things, and how the way He would want us to see things in the world. And that's really what separates our vision, the way we see the world, to the way other people see the world who don't believe in Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I mean, I've had conversations with coworkers, other people, especially when it comes to a lot of the things that we're dealing with right now, and you can see the difference, in their outlook. You can see the difference in their mindset, and you can tell, how they look at things versus how I might look at things. Of course, because I have that perspective, I have that mindset, of looking at things through a spiritual lens or a spiritual filter, right? And then looking at things from God's word, from God's perspective. And so you kind of see how the conversations go. You kind of see also how people deal with things, on a day-to-day basis, simply because of the outlook that they have or how they interpret things. And, for me, personally, when I've had a lot of hardships, like personal hardships, you really have to think hard and make a conscious effort to say, how am I going to approach this situation, or how am I going to look at things so that I can be as healthy as possible, I guess, or manage the situation the best that I can. And if I don't have that, if I lose that mindset, or I lose that perspective that's going to help me get through it, then I would be lost. I wouldn't be able to find my way through it. How do we, as Christians, how do we maintain that perspective? Because it is unnatural. It's not ordinary, right? I mean, our minds don't go to God. They don't go to Jesus. They don't go to Christ. They don't go to spiritual things. So how do we manage to keep our minds, our focus, on spiritual things when the world is distracting us left and right?
You asking me or the girls?
At this point, just whoever wants to answer. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of putting it out there for any of you to, comment, or what are your thoughts on that? I mean, as believers, how do we get through it?
Jesse, I think, when I was talking to you and Dwayne last week about some of the experiences that I've had, I think that it's also a challenge. It's not just a challenge for us believers, for those who are not believers, because I think what you mentioned, it's natural. I think naturally people just want to focus on the good parts of life, right? We want to focus on, our eyes are drawn to the good parts, the pretty parts, the symmetry of life, what we consider beautiful. I think it's natural for our eyes, whether spiritual or non-spiritual, our eyes are drawn towards what looks nice and smooth.
Whatever's attractive.
But, whatever's attractive, and I'll just say a little example here about my son.
Is he attractive?
Our boy.
He's an attractive little boy.
We absolutely think he's cute, and when he was born, some of the comments that people say is that, oh, he's cute, he's perfect, and that was one of the comments people say on Facebook, oh, he's just so perfect. But, it didn't take us very long to realize that he's not a perfect child. He doesn't have the perfect sleep pattern, and all of these things. And he doesn't have the perfect health. But, we still think that he's a beautiful child and still love him, regardless of the imperfection of and the same way with Courtney and I, we're both imperfect parents. We're learning, we make mistakes, but we still think that this whole parenting thing is a beautiful, thing that we still absolutely love, but we like to focus on the good parts of parenting, the good parts, but to also understand and take with the whole package, the challenges, the imperfection, that it's all one piece, and we still, So,
Well,
just to answer your question, yeah, go ahead.
I was say, if you're having trouble with perfection, Dwayne, talk to him. He's a master of perfection.
How so?
You're just perfect.
No, far from it, man.
Well, so a lot of
Why don't we
people are
ask Evan
perfectionists.
about that?
Yeah, chime in on that, Evan.
It's the beauty of having your wife here. Anyway, yeah, go ahead, Jim.
No, so I think, when you see, and I think that's the difference between in the spiritual lens that you talked about, like when you see parenting and even a childhood,
Yeah.
that it's not a perfect experience, There's challenges and it's imperfect, but yet it's a beautiful thing, and you wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
So are you saying that, in order to, as a Christian, would you say in order to persevere, endure, because there is a lot of hardship, right, in our lives,
Yes.
that part of persevering is looking at the good things about our spiritual life?
Yes. And I think that's what the Bible shows us, right? The Bible and the story of Jesus and the redemption gives us a complete picture of the world.
Yeah.
It gives us a complete picture of the mess, of the sin, of the destruction that the sin has cost us, but gives us a full bird's eye view, as you would say, of earth, of how God has the world still, and that it's absolutely beautiful. And I'm relating that to parenting, because if all I focused on is the sleepless night, the unhealthy imperfection of my son's health, then I wouldn't see the big picture of, man, this is a beautiful experience. This is absolutely perfect, even though it's imperfect. Does that make sense? I guess when you see the world in the way the Bible lays it out,
Yeah.
a complete picture. Yes, you see the absolutely beautiful things in this world, and you also see the sin-filled world that's marred, that's decayed. But at the same time, you see it as a whole.
You
Does
mentioned,
that make sense?
yeah, you mentioned last week, Jim, when we were talking to you about wasabi.
Yeah, I did.
You mentioned wasabi, right?
Yeah, so I could mention that real quick as well. So actually, it's not. Yeah, for those who don't know, wasabi is not. Wasabi is that green stuff that you put in sushi, right?
Yeah.
Is it
Let
really?
me ask the girl.
So white.
Let me ask the girl.
Spicy stuff.
It's spicy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was
So,
a philosophy.
It's something
let me
you
tell
eat?
you guys. So
Dude, why
in
do you
college-
let me make a fool of myself this way, Dwayne?
No, let me tell you guys. So in college, I took this course called Introduction or Basic Pottery Ceramic Making, right?
Yes.
In Southwestern. I still remember the teacher. It was one of the hardest classes I've ever taken. You know, the one where you sit
Pottery
on
was the hardest
wheel
class you ever took?
It was one of the hardest class I've ever taken in my life. It
All
was
right.
a 1 hour. It was a 1 hour course, but I actually spent hours in that classroom because it was so hard. I'm not kidding you.
So you weren't cut out to be a potterer. Is that what you call it? A
Yeah.
potterer?
Oh yeah,
Potter.
pottery.
A potter? A potter.
Anyhow, so I would make these
Just a
pieces,
potter.
right?
Potter.
Potter, there you go. So I would make these pieces, and I would spend hours making this piece with this clay in my wheel by myself after hours. And after I was done with my piece, I would put it in this kiln. The kiln is like this oven temperature device that would heat up this clay and makes it hard and bake it and makes it into actual pottery and ceramic.
Yeah.
Anyhow, after I was done with that, I would take it out and I would see that this piece that I spent hours on, and I realized I don't have the most finesse hands, and my bowl that's supposed
Don't
to
tell
look
that to your
like a bowl-
patients.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, but my bowl that's supposed to look like a bowl looks more like a bucket, and and anyhow, I would take it out of this kiln, and it would have all these cracks on my piece. And I told myself, oh man, I'm never going to pass this class, and my teacher, she came up to me and she looked at my piece and she said, Wally, actually she called me Walrus. She said, Walrus, that piece. And I said, I know it's horrible. Should I just throw it away? I know it's got a crack on it. It looks like a bucket,
I know I got an F.
And I'm never going to pass. I'm never going to be a nurse, I'm never, it's over for me.
It's a little over dramatic, don't you think?
I fail in life.
Man, my pop was like a bucket. I'm done.
Yeah, so she told me, she was like, Wally, this piece, Walrus, this piece that you have, and I said, yes. She says, this piece is, what's the word I'm looking for? She says, this piece is beautiful. And I said, are you kidding me? She says, no, your piece is beautiful. And I said, well, you must have artistic eyes because I don't see a beautiful piece. And she taught me this philosophy that I still remember to this day. She says, Wally, have you ever heard of the Japanese ancient philosophy with their pottery, ceramic making called Wabi Sabi?
Wabi Sabi?
So you were close, Jesse.
I was close. Wabi
Sabi.
Green sauce.
I thought she meant wasabi, but she said Wabi Sabi. And I said, no, I haven't. And she told me, well, with this philosophy, the ancient Japanese ceramic makers would actually sometimes put a deliberate flaw on their so-called perfect piece, or the ones that come out of the kiln with cracks, they wouldn't throw it away. Actually, they would showcase it and they would consider those pieces as beautiful. And it was the art of finding beauty with an imperfect piece. And understanding that the whole piece has cracks in it, but it's beautiful. And that life is not a perfect symmetrical life that we have. We have challenges, we have cracks, but yet we don't throw our lives away, just like we wouldn't throw that piece away, because our life is beautiful. Just like this piece, this Wabi Sabi piece that I had was beautiful. So so it was a deep thought, and I said, wow. But you have to understand and learn that philosophy to actually truly appreciate beauty.
So did you get an A in that class? It sounds like class would be easy to get an A.
I did get an A. I did. After hours of actually, I gotten better. I joke about it. I struggled at the beginning, but I actually spent a lot of hours in that 1 hour course, and I actually ended up enjoying it. And I made actually a bunch of pieces, and some of them are still there in Southwestern.
What, they're showcasing them or something?
Well, yeah,
they're in the closet.
The closet. Yeah. Do you think that has a mop bucket?
No, the teacher kept one of my pieces. She gave us the option to take our pieces, but she asked me to keep one piece that she wanted to keep for the class. So I don't know if it's still there, but Dr. Chadwick's wife was the name, and I don't know, maybe it's still there or not. But she asked me, she's like, Wally, can I keep this one piece for the class for the future? And I said, go ahead. So
wow.
We'll have to take a trip to Swau and see if we can find that piece.
It's a horse.
It's a horse?
It was actually, it was a ceramic of a horse.
It's a Trojan horse?
So, I just made a horse.
Oh, does it look like a horse?
I don't know. Maybe it looks like a dog or something.
Or am I going to have to use Wababasi to figure it out?
Maybe it's an example saying, this is Wabi Sabi. Right?
Wabi Sabi. I need to remember that. Can you guys help me remember that? Wabi Sabi.
Is it Wabi or Waba?
Wabi Sabi.
Wabi Sabi.
Anyhow, Jason and Jesse and Dwayne. So another spiritual, that concept was actually has a lot of spiritual lessons to it too, because really to appreciate the symmetry and the beauty, you have to have a little bit of cracks and asymmetry, and for us, when we see ourselves as flawed, sinful people, men and women, we actually realize what true and perfect beauty and perfection is, and that's Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
So without our flaws, without that crack, or the challenges of life, you can't appreciate true beauty. It's almost like it goes hand to hand. And to appreciate true perfection, which is God, we need to have something to compare it to.
Correct.
And that's us.
That's deep, brother.
It is. Well, it's something that, again, in our spiritual lives, we can see all the defects in ourselves, right? I mean, we get discouraged sometimes by looking at ourselves and looking at our shortcomings, our failures, and really it's Christ that gives us His Spirit so that we can see the beauty, right? But not necessarily the beauty in us, but the beauty in what He's done for us, that He restores us, right? That He can complete us. And if we didn't have that balance, right? If all we saw was ourselves and our unworthiness and what would happen is that we would become so proud, right? Because we wouldn't want to see all the defects, right? We'd become so proud that we would completely ignore all those things, right? Because we were so proud. But we don't have to be proud, because we know that God, Christ, has loved us. He's died for us. And He's the one that can complete us. He's the one that can restore us. And when we have that perspective and we have that mindset, then we're able to endure, those hardships. We're able to overcome our failures because we know that He's the one that has helped us to overcome those things. It's interesting. I talked about this, I think it was last week. We were at by the way, we were at Keller last week.
I saw.
Yeah, we were. Dwayne was there. We were there. Iguarans were there. Herrera, Rudy was there. It was like a reunion, man. We saw Ed. We saw, who else did we see? We saw Peter, Donna, Shug. It was like
Peter, Maria,
Maria. Yeah, it was great. It was beautiful. Where were you?
I was asleep.
Yeah, I know you worked hard. You worked hard. But it was interesting. So we were there last week, and we talked, and I was talking about how it's Christ makes this really interesting. He makes this interesting command. It gives us this instruction, right? He's talking to His disciples. He says, you got to carry your cross with you. And I thought that's a kind of a strange instruction, right? That Jesus would ask us to carry our cross. You got to bear your cross. And it's strange because why wouldn't He say, drop off your cross? Or why wouldn't He say, I'll carry it for you? But He instructs us to bear the cross. And I think the cross just reminds us, it's a daily reminder of how broken we are, and that we're prone to have hardships in life. And Jesus kind of, by telling us to carry our cross, bear our cross, He's acknowledging that we have hardships we have to confront. We can't hide from those hardships, right? But at the same time, we are able to endure and carry that cross because Christ carried His cross and because He was able to take it all the way to the end, right? And make that ultimate sacrifice for us. And so we don't have to be afraid of carrying our crosses because they are a reality. They are a part of our lives, and He's acknowledging that. But He's also saying, but I've got a way for you to endure. I've got a way for you to carry it. You don't have to do it on your own. You don't have to do it by yourself. And it's part of that, again, part of that perspective. We have these crosses, but if all we're looking at is that cross that we bear every day, then we're going to get worn out. Yeah, we're going to get discouraged. We're going to get demoralized. But if we have that other perspective, right, like you're talking about, Jim, the other side of that coin is the beauty of salvation. And with that in mind, I'll carry my cross, wherever you want me to carry it.
Yeah, and like we were talking about it too last week, right? Like, what's one of the most difficult questions that people like to ask Christians, I asked you this last week. If God is so real for you, right? If God is so real for you, if God is real, why is there so many bad things in the world? Why does so many bad things happen? Why do so many bad things happen, And so that's again, the reason that question gets asked is because people tend to look at that from a certain perspective, right? Maybe they've had a lot of, a run of bad luck or they just constantly see bad things. But, I can guarantee you not everything's bad in your life. And, going back to perspective, if you look at it from the other direction, right, you can also say, well, the Bible says that for the wages of sin is death, right? Romans 6:23. If that's the case, then why is there still so much good in the world? Why are we still even alive? You know, if that's the case, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, right? So, you know, if you tend to look at it from that way, we have a lot to be thankful for.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yep.
I think just, you know, perspective should play a big role in everyone's hearts and in everyone's lives, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. Because you will just face life likely in a more positive way, you know, when you have the right perspective. And we do oftentimes need to pray for that perspective because, like you said, we're imperfect to begin with, and we tend to err on the side of negativity.
Yeah.
You know, that's just who we are. But
Yeah.
So
I,
I'd like to say something.
What? Wait, hold on. Let me turn up the volume on Evanette's microphone.
Which mic was she? Yeah.
I think she's 3. Go ahead.
So branching off from what Jim was talking about parenting, and parenting is the greatest way to see God's love, right? Mm-hmm. And so, little background, I work in the NICU. And so where babies are already kind of born, not broken, but it's imperfect,
Yeah, definitely.
delivery.
Yeah.
So I always have to deal with moms that are very fragile and sensitive at the moment. And it's like, why can't my baby be normal and perfect?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
so I always have to show them a different perspective for them to, I don't know, celebrate their own baby.
Yeah, because that would be hard. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't imagine as a parent having to go through that. So what have you found to be helpful, or, what makes them more receptive?
I always have to tell them to celebrate the little goals that their babies, like, they may not reach the regular milestone of, a normal, quote unquote, normal baby would have. Mm-hmm. But just celebrate like something small, like my baby ate 5 more meals today, or my baby looked and smiled at me today.
Do you find that, when they're able to see the small progress, the small goals, do you find that they're a little more at ease, or they start to
They start to think about it,
Yeah.
because I tell them, it's a journey. Mm-hmm. For them to get out of the NICU, and it's just, you have to take it a day at a time while you're over there.
Yeah, yeah.
Instead of seeing it in the whole picture, like, when can I get out of here?
Yeah, yeah. That's got to be hard. I mean, that's a good example of a situation where you have to have perspective. You have to really keep things in mind, and because I can imagine as a parent, you're dealing with the most vulnerable person in the world, right? Mm-hmm. And they're not well. They could be unhealthy, and I mean, that's a good example of a situation, a time where you really have to really think things through a lot and try to find, something that can get you through it. I mean, I think so. Yeah, for sure. I don't know how you do that job every day or whenever you work, whether it's every day or on the weekends.
It is more rewarding than
than what it seems.
Seems, because when you do, let's say, like, see a baby and you start out and you see them like at their most vulnerable, it is more rewarding when you do see them leave. And I don't know what you're doing there.
Go ahead. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to work your voice and make it sound a little bit better.
Myself.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Silencing me.
Quiet. Oh, where did that come from? Sorry, wrong button.
Hey, so in the NICU, I have a question for you. Sometimes babies don't make it out of the NICU. So
yeah, that's true.
What perspective? What perspective would a parent take at that point?
I mean, that's one of the hardest, because I've had parents where I've taken care of their babies and they don't make it. I don't know what to say to them. All I can do is be there for them, like sit down, and sometimes all you have to do is just be silent.
Yep.
So I was thinking, like, just like we were looking at, some people tend to look at the negative, right? I guess one positive way of approaching that situation would be like, your baby was alive for, sometimes they're there for a month, 2 months, and you can look at the positive in that. I thank God that He gave me my baby for 2 months. It was a blessing, even though he or she may have struggled. The very fact that something has life is a blessing,
Yeah.
And that's something to be thankful for.
Yeah, and grief is can become such a complicated thing, grief and loss, and I can understand the struggle of maintaining a perspective, because sometimes you just don't know why. You just don't know why things happen. You just don't know. You don't have an answer. And from a spiritual standpoint, someone that is really firm in their faith may be able to be okay with that. But there are people that don't have that, and they're not okay with that. And sometimes, like you said, it's just a matter of being there and sitting with them and letting them grieve and letting them do what they need to do, to get through that. And so, sometimes we can encourage, with our faith, and sometimes it's just appropriate to be a presence, and that's really all you can do. Sometimes the perspective is just being there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't really try to offer anything because I've never been in that situation.
Yeah.
So I can't empathize with them. If that's the word, right?
you can empathize with them. You just can't relate.
I can't
necessarily,
relate.
to what they're going through, at that point in time.
Yeah. I've never been on that other side.
But empathy is a good thing to have. You can empathize with any situation. If you didn't have empathy, you would actually be a psychopath. I'm not kidding. I'm not a sociopath. Sociopaths don't have empathy. But you can have empathy.
Right.
But maybe the relatableness is not there, because you haven't been in that situation. But I'm sure glad you're not a sociopath. Not that I know of, at least. So, yeah. Okay.
I'll plead the fifth.
The secrets are coming out. So, anyway, man, Jim, thanks for being here, man. Thanks for sharing your thoughts and listening intently. Looks like you're really absorbing all the knowledge of these big brains in this room here, and you're just
That's right.
No, the knowledge of these imperfect brains.
Yeah.
We're all just trying to make it through life, man. Just like
I have a Wababasi brain, so
yeah, mine's like Wababasi times 10.
Some Japanese people are going to be like, these guys are just...
Yeah.
it's just one of those. I appreciate the philosophy, because I think it's. But I just don't know how to say it. I can't remember the word. I can't remember like.
Yeah, just think wasabi, but wabi sabi. So wabi sabi.
And
hey, Jesse and Glenn, I wanted to add one thing about what you guys are saying there. I had a thought. I sometimes I read these quotes. Maybe like a bumper sticker or somewhere. Or maybe I saw it from Facebook, or a quote, something that life doesn't get easier. You just get stronger. Meaning, and I took it, that quote, that the circumstances in life stays the same. It's going to be challenging, but you as a person get stronger to deal with the circumstances. And, I kind of took it that way, that, sometimes we think, oh, if we take out this part, if we don't have this problem or this problem, then I'll see things differently, or I'll be a better person. But it's an actual internal thing that life is still the same. It's still just as hard. You still carry that cross, right? The cross probably still weighs the exact same thing when Jesus says carry your cross. But the difference is you get stronger. God gives you the strength to carry the cross.
Yeah.
When you look at it that way, instead of an external circumstantial changes, it becomes an internal change that life doesn't get easier. You just get stronger.
Yeah. Another great example of perspective, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
I can't give a credit for where I found that quote.
But
So, like
okay.
I said,
The bumper
I found,
sticker?
I,
The car you
I
were
bought my bumper
following behind.
sticker.
How
Yeah,
close
it's
were you to this
somewhere.
car you were following?
I don't know.
It's a matter of perspective, I guess.
Well, okay, so I've got a question. Now you've really got me wondering, Jim. How many people where you live have bumper stickers on their cars? Because last time we were talking, I think you said you saw another bumper sticker with another saying. So I'm wondering either people around your town have a lot of bumper stickers with very clever things to say, or you're looking online and actually researching bumper stickers. Which one is it?
No, I don't know. No, I think, I don't know, maybe I'm not really, I think those short bumper stickers, I think in a way it's kind of a nice way to witness to people because, people, our attention spans are short, and you need something short like that to actually stick in your brain.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe I don't have I'm not I'm not that smart, I guess, that I can remember long passages, but I can remember a couple of, sentences or a simple philosophy. I'm just a simple guy, Jesse, I guess. That's what I could say. I'm
Well,
a simple guy.
we appreciate your simplicity, Jim.
You're smart, man. You got an A in pottery. Come
yeah,
on.
I mean, not anyone can get an A in pottery.
Yeah.
That's a difficult course.
Yeah. That's right.
I have taken that course.
Was it hard?
Yes.
It was hard?
It was very hard.
What did you make?
I don't remember.
Was that bad?
Yeah.
I thought it would be
It wasn't
easy.
memorable.
It wasn't memorable.
I was not given that same.
Hey, that could be a bumper sticker. Hey, I got an A in pottery. And then if someone pulls over to ask him, hey, what's that about? He can tell them the story of
There you go.
Wabi Sabi.
There you go. Dwayne.
Let's just
Good
say
job.
I had Jim's same exact teacher.
Yeah.
I did not get that same praise.
Wow. Must have been really bad. She was like, wow, not even
Yeah.
Wabi Sabi can fix this one.
right.
Yeah. I think what she told me was, your brother was in my class.
He was
That's what I got.
But you know what it was? You know what it was that made the impression on her is that she was probably thinking, no one in my class has ever sat for hours and hours trying to pass this thing.
And I'm not lying. I sat hours after class.
She had pity on you, my friend. I think she was just
know.
like, whew.
Yeah. And it's sad because I get an A in pottery and I get a B in basketball. Yeah.
Well,
right. There's no wabi sabi there.
There is not. That sometimes there's just reality, and that's all there is, man.
Whether you make it in or
Hey, man. Well, Jim, thanks again. We appreciate always your input. We'll have you on, again, for sure. And we appreciate just your insight, your faith, your spirituality, just your friendship. Yeah, and we appreciate that. And just thanks for being a part of this.
Thank you. If I see any more bumper stickers, I'll make sure I'll
Yeah, bro.
share.
Well, we're gonna send you at some point in time. We're gonna send you a T-shirt and a bumper sticker.
Yes, Haystack Nation.
A nice
bumper sticker.
orange, big, sticky bumper sticker that once you put it on your car will never come off.
Hey, you know what?
That's okay.
With a clever saying on it. We'll figure out what the clever saying is gonna say. Any ideas?
Something.
May this bumper sticker teach you something.
Ask me about this bumper sticker. Something.
If you can see this bumper sticker, you're too close.
All right. Well, thanks, Jim. Good talking to you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Take care, man.
You guys have a good Sabbath, and
too.
good to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
All right, next time we want to see the little boy.
That's right. Yeah, he's sleeping right now. It's his bedtime, so the wife and I can eat some pizza.
Well, go enjoy your 5th anniversary. Enjoy your pizza. You deserve it. And
Thank you.
Embrace it, love it, and just savor it. Every piece, every slice.
You
you.
did get the Beyond sausage.
I was gonna
pizza?
say
Beyond sausage. No. We actually
we got the real
pizza
stuff. That's what you said. We got the real. Where's Beyond sausage? What?
No, we got the pizza from Costco, the cauliflower pizza. There you go.
Oh, that's good
Yeah,
stuff.
you guys should try that. Yeah,
have.
it's made out of cauliflower.
Yeah, we've tried that one.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So-
It is good. Not the one from Costco. I mean, the one that you usually get.
We tried it right the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The girls like it.
Yeah, we like it. You don't buy them from Costco. You buy it from like Walmart, H-E-B. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before Jim goes, let me ask you one question. You became a parent this year. What is the number one thing you love about parenting?
The number one thing that
that you love about parenting?
There's a lot. I love it when he's asleep.
Ding, ding, ding. That's the number one answer.
In all seriousness, one thing that I love is seeing all the milestones, like the progression of my son, you know, from him being born, you know, to him taking his first 2 steps this week. In 8 months, almost 9 months, he took his first steps. Actually witnessing the first 2 steps, I mean, it was, I can't explain that feeling. It's probably one of the best feelings I've ever had in my life.
Awesome.
You know, just something like that, seeing him smile and, you know, and laugh, you know, the innocence in the child. That's one thing, but lots of things that I love. So
awesome.
I'm glad to be part of the club.
Yeah. One of those things real quick is, I think you can now understand a little more how God loves his children too, right?
Oh yeah.
It puts it a little more into perspective, right?
It's all about perspective. Wabi Sabi. Maybe I'll name my child that next.
Your next child, yeah.
Wabi Sabi?
Wabi Sabi Bassett.
I got it right.
Good job, Jesse.
Oh,
Good
man,
job.
I knew it was going to. I get an A.
You get an A.
A for effort.
You know?
Hey, Jim. Thanks for sharing your perspective, my friend, on Haystack Nation. Appreciate it. And speaking of short attention spans, we've probably lost half our audience by now. So we're going to wrap this one up, and we'll see everyone next time on another episode of Haystack Nation. Thanks, Jim, Evanette, Vanessa, Dwayne, and
Bye.
Jesse. We're out.